Hello, everybody, and welcome back to CalCast, your favorite show that releases about as frequently as the Calamity updates do, which is not very frequently at all.
Yep, and today we are gathered here for a very not great purpose, but it had to be done. We need to talk about this. It's too urgent. We can't let this go like we've gone on the other news. This has to be discussed, and it needs to be discussed like now.
The PSA is mandatory.
Do we dare say special episode? I don't want to say special episode because it's not a very special occasion, but it could be from a manner perspective.
I mean, yeah, some people are definitely very overjoyed over what is, or like, the end results of what's happened.
Can confirm I'm a fan.
I guess we should probably start with a disclaimer saying do not harass or threaten anyone that we talk about.
Yes, please. Just it's been handled. It's over. It's done with.
Just let things settle. Do not harass anyone.
Leave the demon to his demons, as my friend Old Man Consequences once said. Anyway, to address the gigantic elephant in the room, yes, there's been a change of leadership at Calamity HQ, and that is to say that Fabsol has stepped down from development for not very good reasons. All right, so the genesis of this from my perspective. By the way, I just want to say from my perspective, this was all insane because yesterday, which was Tuesday, May 27th, on the day that we're recording, this was my birthday. My Sunday, I went back down to Florida to celebrate with my family. I was only there for one day, and I thought, I don't need to bring my laptop or anything with me. I'll have a day offline, And it just so happened that all the shit went down on that day, so that was certainly an interesting dynamic. But anyway, it all started that Sunday afternoon. We get a notification from some concerned folks that Fabsol had just gone on this insane, completely fucking unhinged rant about transgender people in the Calamity main Discord. So this was the first thing that happened. Just this crazy rant, which is, first of all, his roommate, trans mask. Half of his dev team, transgender. Most of the fucking dev team is queer in some capacity, and a lot of them are trans, and he's out here saying this, really hateful shit. So, already we were really, annoyed, and we were like, okay, we got to talk to you about this, because this is hey, this is really not cool. And during that conversation, basically the entire dev server gets together with him in a voice call. I was only reading text at this point because I didn't even know it was going down yet. It comes to our attention during this because somebody posted all these things publicly on social media, and it got a lot of attention, and a lot of people took this as their opportunity to come out about some very, very unsavory things. It comes to our attention that Fabsol had a specifically NSFW Discord server that was created for the sole purpose of the fact that he couldn't stop being horny in public in Calamity Main. He created this server specifically for this purpose to post porn and talk about porn and stuff like that. He invited minors, people as young as 15 years old were in that server seeing all of that content, which is completely just unacceptable. I'd like to point out that Fabsol was 30 at the time. It wasn't like he was, 18 or 19 or had just become an adult. He was 30 years old, a grown-ass man. Even one of them he had encouraged to draw this kind of content. He said, you're really good at this. You should keep going. We had screenshots of that, and he confirmed to all of us, yes, this had happened. Originally, he tried to say he didn't know how old they were, but we have screenshots disproving that, and he eventually admitted to that. Anything else that has come out since then, I cannot verify because I had direct verification from Fabsol himself that these things happened. He told all of us, he admitted to it in that voice chat that we were all in. And obviously that is just completely, woefully, inexcusably just not acceptable for him to be doing. So he stepped down as the leader of the mod. Over 20 of us, 20 members of the team, including myself and many others, all came to the agreement that if he was going to stay, we were all going to leave. So if he had chosen to stay, his dev team would have been shrunken to about maybe 3 or 4 people. Surprisingly, and this surprised the hell out of me, he actually willingly handed it all off and then left the team of his own accord. I never, ever thought he would do something like that because this is one of the most stubborn people I've ever met in my life.
I was thinking about that a lot, and I think he realized that that was the only way to save the project. If he insisted on staying on the team, the project just would have died, period.
Yeah, the entire team was going to leave, basically, his entire team.
Yeah, so say what you will about Fab, but at the very least, he decided not to drag Calamity down to hell with him. At the very, very least.
Well, he was already doing that when he was on the team, but
You know what I mean, though, like going past the point of no return.
yes, but he left. Obviously, we made a bunch of social media posts. If you're on Blue Sky, they were late because I wasn't logged into, fun fact, wasn't logged into the Blue Sky account on my phone. I had no way of posting that on there because I couldn't get in because I also wasn't logged into the email on my phone. So that's been fixed. I have fixed that now. So that shouldn't happen again. But yeah, on the Twitter and the Discord server, we, publicly said like, hey, this is it. Fabsol's gone. He stepped down. He's off the project. And obviously there has been a lot of internal conversation. I don't even want to say turmoil because, sure, the first day we were in the fucking weeds, man. Like, it was tough. Like, there were tears being shed. People were getting, like, voices were breaking in the voice call. Like, it was sad, and it was extremely disappointing. I was really upset. Like, maybe the most upset I've been about something in a long time because I felt so, like, betrayed just to see that kind of stuff. Because I had stuck my neck out for this guy, like, a ton of different times, and to see that was like, wow, okay. I can't do
yeah,
this
just like the
anymore,
ultimate
man.
betrayal because of all the work that you and all the other devs have put in.
Yeah, and I told him that. I was like, I can't associate with you anymore, man. This is like the biggest fucking betrayal ever. And I told him that. I wished him well in his future life, and then we disassociated. I blocked him and unfriended him and all that. Basically everybody did. And he stepped down from the team. Technically, Oz is now the owner of the Calamity mod, but we're sort of like rebranding it. Like right now, if you click on the mod in the workshop, it says Fabsol in the dev team. That's just going to be the Calamity dev team because, it's not my mod anymore. It's our mod or whatever. It always has been. This was something I even put this in the announcement post, is that Calamity was never his mod. Not after like 2018. It has always been the product of a huge dedicated team with a shit ton of creative passion and all that. And it's not that's why we can continue the project. It's not like it was really even his anymore. It was all of ours. And yeah, that was that. And now everything internal is all like, things are happening.
For me, at least, the first indication that something was wrong is like when Fab changed his status to simply "I'm sorry," or at least that's the first I saw of his statuses.
Oh yeah.
And to me that kind of took me off guard because I mean you're probably aware that Fab always has some like weird edgy status.
He always had. The way somebody phrased it was the Alpha Chad Wolfman statuses. Like, that one meme image of the wolf like pondering the moon or whatever. It's that is every single one of his statuses was always that fucking like cringe ass shit.
Yeah, like Fab always had statuses like that, and just to randomly have something as curt as just "I'm sorry," that was very off-putting for me. Like it just kind of.
Yes.
Maybe wonder, something might actually be happening for once.
The shit posters were really in their bag this time around. When I posted the announcement publicly, like literally 2 minutes later, people had the one newspaper edit changed to Fabsol dead on the like.
It was
people
so
had the
fast.
memes so This has been a unique situation because unlike other instances where a developer has got, it wasn't a beloved developer being outed for something like this. Fabsol already had a very miserable reputation with a lot of the player base.
I think that's the reason why everyone is dancing on his grave so much. It's just Fabsol was just absolutely hated by everyone.
And he did it to himself. He would.
I'm not saying it wasn't deserved. To be clear, I'm not saying it wasn't deserved, but like everyone was just so fast to dogpile on him that like it's kind of just insane how fast everyone just simultaneously united against him. It's like Fab has been sitting on a powder keg for like the past 5 years and it only just now finally exploded.
Yeah, all of us have sort of on the team, we all sort of agreed like something like this was going to happen. We just didn't expect it to be this disappointing. It was a ticking time bomb. He was going to do something stupid that was going to result in this, but I'd never thought it would be this bad or that people would have been hurt in that kind of way. It was fucking disgusting.
Yeah, Shay, I even remember, like, talking to you, it was, like, after another incident we can discuss later, but I remember specifically saying to you that, like, if this mod ever collapses before Yaharim is added, it will 100% be from Fabsol's, like, his attitude.
Well, not anymore.
That might have been me you're thinking of, but you could have sent it to both.
I DM'd it both to you, yeah,
Yes.
because, like,
Okay.
because I did genuinely believe it, that, like, if the mod does collapse on its own, that, like, it would definitely be Fab's fault, and, like, and, I mean... It almost did happen. Again, if Fabsol decided to clutch onto the mod and try to save it, it would have died.
Oh yeah, it would have exploded. He just would have had no workforce. Like, there's just... honestly, he didn't really do that much. Like, all he ever did was boss stuff. So, like...
Everyone perpetually just hates all the boss changes he makes.
Well, I won't say all of them are bad. There's a couple of things.
A lot of them.
We're not going to change everything. Like, there's a lot of actually good... There's diamonds in the rough. 100%.
Well, yeah, but I'm just saying, like, it seems like layly people seem to be pretty upset about a good chunk of the changes that he makes.
To reiterate on something earlier I mentioned, by the way, I did mention his roommate. Lilac was actually able to get... They had a... is it Ko-Fi? Ko-Fi? I don't know how to pronounce that.
It's Ko-Fi, yeah. I donated it. I think I'll leave the donation link in the description. I think you donated to it, too, right?
Yes, I donated, and then I also asked my audience to donate as well. But they did reach their goal, so... They are safe. They're going to be able to move out. But that's another thing. Again, we mentioned at the beginning of the video, don't harass or go after Fabsol for this. It's already been dealt with. But especially, please keep in mind that if you go after him, you'll be going after his roommate too. Please do not drag them into this.
Do not dox. Do not reveal address. Do not dig.
Yeah, don't do
not
any of that
harass
shit.
anyone. Okay, they have been dealt with, or Fab has been dealt with. You do not need to exact vengeance for anyone.
Yeah, it's certainly been a time. I mean, we're not gonna throw away literally every single thing he ever did, but there were a lot of things that he did. He would get mad when people subverted, like, democracy in the server, but then he would do it all the fucking time. Honestly, it got to the point where it was straight up stifling development. Like, if you're wondering, like, yes, it is definitely a part of why this update has taken so long to release. Because you had to put on the kitty gloves when you were fucking chatting with him, or else he'd be like, no, we're not doing this, blacklisted. And I remember a couple of years ago, I probably said it on CalCast, I thought things were getting better. I was right, but for the wrong reason. I thought things were getting better because he was improving. No, things were better at that period of time because he was like a ghost. He was a fucking phantom at that time. He wasn't involved at all. And I realize now, looking back, oh, all that productivity we had, that was because he wasn't in the way.
Yeah, if we want to talk about Fabsol's behavior a bit more, do we want to talk about the vaccine incident in Calzone?
I actually want to interrupt you real quick just to kind of tell my point of view on the story, just because, like, obviously this horrendous shit, right? But, like, I found out when I was, like, at work, and I saw a one of the announcements from CD Music server, and I was just like, oh shit, this is gonna be something about, like, one of the songs is being made or something along those lines, because I don't know, something CD doesn't want to do it anymore, which is totally respectable if that were the case. But no, I just see, like, Fabsol is stepping down from Calamity, and I'm like, what the fuck? I'm at work. Like, I had to turn off my phone and put it in my pocket for the next, like, 2 hours. Just sitting on that and wondering what in the world has happened. After finding out, like, what actually happened, though, like, I can't say I'm surprised. I don't know how mean that sounds, but, like...
No, it was definitely not. Like I said, we all kind of agreed it was going to happen. We just didn't think it would be this disappointing and disgusting. So
yeah, it's just...
I mean, it was a ticking time bomb. To be honest, another dev exodus might have happened too, because, like, a lot of us, the more and more he started interacting again, a lot of us were like, this is just stifling our creativity, and, like, it was really starting to get into the weeds. Skeletron Prime, hello.
Yeah, so do we want to actually talk about, like, more of our personal experiences with him, like the thing in Calzone that I mentioned?
Go ahead.
I don't know the depths of the insanity that went on there until afterwards, because the first time we ever had one of those conversations, I muted that fucking server and I never looked in it ever again.
So to give a bit of context, there's, like, a server that's, like, a halfway in between the dev server and, like, just Cal main. So it's kind of like, it's like reserved for developers and, like, people who have, like, significant standing in the community. So not quite the dev server.
And baguettes.
Yeah. So yeah, so you have a number of people like that, and like Fab is just going on like this insane rants about how the COVID vaccine is like really dangerous, going on and on talking about all the like injuries or something that have been caused from the vaccine, and just making and like arguing that like it was bad that the vaccine was developed as quickly as it was. Like it was off the rails. Just like I just was like looking at this and I was like, how the hell is this guy the lead developer of the most popular Terraria mod in existence?
Another thing I'd like to add to this too is the fact that like I was there when that entire conversation happened. Like I was actively looking at all the stuff going on.
Sam.
And dude, I was there for like 3 hours.
There was a couple of
watching this
screenshots
conversation
of that conversation that have floated around, and it's the only part of any of this that I'm in, and my messages, it's so funny because my messages are just telling him to shut the fuck up. Because I couldn't believe what I was reading, but it got worse. Like, he went head first into the Kool-Aid, man. And it's weird because, like, he was never like this until, like, 2 years ago. Something happened. I don't know what, but he, like, really, really strange stuff.
But yeah, like Fab eventually did back down, but like after that incident happened, that's when I said to both Shay and JFL that like, you know, if the mod collapses, it's 100% going to be Fab's fault.
It changed from just like concern, which like, okay, whatever, into straight up like by the end of it, he was saying some straight up like anti-vax stuff, about how like COVID was developed in a lab. Like it was like, I was like, oh my god, what are you watching? Are you watching like Joe Rogan? What's going on? That he's not even that bad. You know what? No. I gotta give credit to Joe Rogan for a second. He's not there.
Alex Jones, you mean? Like
yeah, was it like InfoWars or something? What the fuck was he
InfoWars.
going down on? I mean, it all culminated in that whole insane rant he went on about how, like, transgender people are predators in the bathroom or whatever. And I'm like, oh my fucking god, like, what happened? This is the same guy who has a canonically non-binary character in his mod, by the way. His dev item's caption is estrogen. Like, what happened?
yeah, it's just such a weird turn of events. Like, he really just shot himself in the foot, like, several times with this. It's just such a strange stance to take. It just doesn't make sense.
In my experience, Fabsol is like extremely hypocritical, can kind of just associate a lot of the possible shortcomings that come in that way to that. Am I using the wrong terms here?
Like, no, he is definitely. He's definitely very hypocritical. He gets mad at things that, you know, I know some people were like, somebody actually reached out to me at one point during the whole thing, like, hey, he's not going to hurt himself or anything, right? Which, like, we were making sure that he didn't do that. Because nobody wants that. Not you know, well, I'm sure there's probably some person out there who would be happy about it, but like we don't.
Well, yeah, Fabsol was very hated. Of course, some people would take it too far.
Yeah, we don't. None of us wanted it to come to that. You know, we wanted him out of the mod and not have to talk to him anymore, but nobody wanted that. I think divorcing him from Calamity is actually maybe good for his mental health because I don't think he could handle that kind of platform. I mean, very few people can, but like, with all the arguments he'd constantly get in with everybody, it was like, I don't think some people aren't cut out for that level of attention and responsibility. And clearly, considering the whole thing with the NSFW server, he should not have that responsibility. So,
yeah, it's a very heavy price, I would assume, like, especially developing the mod for that many years and like having to, and like especially the fact that it's the most popular Terraria mod. So, and also the fact that like, as the project head, you kind of take responsibility for any shortcoming in the mod, even if you didn't like directly code it yourself. It still ultimately becomes your responsibility. So like, I think that also kind of wore on his mental health, because I can understand that, because like, you have to take responsibility for things you didn't do. That's kind of that's part of what being a project head is all about.
But yeah, we are no longer associated with him in any capacity. So most of the dev team has blocked him. So, and he's not in the dev team anymore, which means we can move on to the aftermath of that, which is that if you have been in CalMain,
the monkey's paw twitched. Like, we all wished in our heart of hearts for one specific thing, and the monkey's paw granted that wish. Of course, being the return of the COLDHEART icicle, the strongest weapon to ever exist.
Yeah, the fucking monkey's paw curled. Be careful what you wish for. Oh boy, I wish COLDHEART returned. Well, you got what you wanted. Are you happy?
Yeah, it only cost the lead developer.
Oh no. Anyway.
Yeah, that's the
So, hotfix. These are public change logs now, so I can actually talk about them because I wasn't able to go into super details in the announcements. I mentioned some things dedicated to Fabsol would be removed. Some people got mad about that. They were like, no, don't remove the drunk princess, just resprite her and rename her. So you're asking for a new NPC. You realize that, right? Every single line of dialogue was created to be his fucking self-insert, and may I really say his gooner self-insert. Like, that is, you cannot divorce that from him. That had to go. Respriting her and redoing all the dialogue and making her a new character, you're just asking for a new NPC, which maybe sometime down the line that might happen, but that's it was gonna it's still a removal either way. Most things we were able to, most things tied to his dedicated content we were able to keep in some capacity. The weapon Ozzatron was in the most unanimous development vote in the history of the team. We have a channel in the dev server called Democracy where we vote on things. In a 33-0 vote, the most one-sided vote in our history, Ozzatron was renamed to Ozzatron after Ozzatron, the new owner of the mod. Which is just... There were 4 options on that poll, by the way, and everybody, we all knew what had to happen. But yes, the drunk princess is gone. Princess Spirit in a bottle, his custom mount, gone. Cirrus couch, gone. Crystal Heart vodka, which was his dev vanity, I believe. Like, obviously gone. Cirrus's dress gone. Everything. And Alicorn on a stick, sort of gone. Gone but not forgotten, because the thing that Alicorn on a stick replaced has returned with a vengeance. My death was greatly exaggerated.
It's coming back even stronger, isn't it? Like, it needs to live up to the Alicorn on a stick.
Yes,
hype.
it is. Rather than being where it was before, it is now the replacement for Alicorn.
Can you elaborate on what exactly is different about it?
You'll see.
Okay.
Let's see. We removed all mentions and appearance of Fabsol from thank you. Yes. I'm not sure what the current sprite is. I'd have to look, but I remember the day of it all happening. Somebody posted the thank you picture and removed him, like that one image of Stalin removing Lenin from that one picture. But yeah, same, he had done predatory shit with children. That is like a fucking, that gets you off that was a precedent we already had with a previous developer who we had to remove from the team, is that kind of thing, like, excludes you from being on the painting. I know some people were like, no way, you're removing him from the special thanks of his own mod. I'm like, don't have children
don't go there.
In porn discords, bro. Like, what? We did replace Supreme Cirrus with something a bit cooler.
You can probably guess what it is.
An emphasis on the word cooler.
Yeah, I wonder what NPC is really cool in this mod. I'm also assuming the dialogue has been rewritten.
Yes. All the dialogue was rewritten in literally 20 minutes because it was, it's a giant shit post. And yes, the reference to the one thing from that one game that I know about is in there. Of course it is. We renamed Fabsol's vodka because the buff is actually really useful. Obviously, we didn't want to get rid of that, but it's now Purple Haze, which somebody on the subreddit said, is that a Jimi Hendrix reference? And then somebody replied saying, no, it might be a JoJo reference. Do not tell them where the stand in JoJo gets the name Purple Haze from. It's gonna blow your mind. Fabstaff has become Sylvstaff, which is now dedicated to Lucille Karma, formerly Dominic Karma. You may recognize that name. Former developer
of Infernum and also the Wrath of the Gods creator.
Correct. Yes. We asked her for direct permission, and it was granted. So it actually even provided the design for it. So yes, we have replaced the Fabstaff with a trans rights beam. I think that's fitting. But the funny thing is that the Fabstaff's previous colors were also pink, blue, and white. So all alcohols are now crafted at a keg. Yep, we did that. The tooltips were all removed. which I was completely okay with because I did all that. So it's all gone now. Well, he had written them, but I did the colors and all that. They were given all the special colors and all that, and I like edited them to make sure that they looked good. But that's all gone now because it was like direct character dialogue from Cirrus. We moved everything that she had sold, like the candles are to the wizard, the odd mushrooms to the truffle, the interlude boxes are to the Vanilla's princess, which we didn't interact with at all previously, so that feels like that checks out well. The donor message button is on Calamitous now. There's no death count because that's a vanilla command now. It didn't need to exist.
Speaking of the donors, I do want to talk about two things specifically. I want to talk about specifically the removed items. There were 3 of them.
Yes, those were on request from the donors. These were not things that we... They weren't Fabsol dedicated. A lot of people who had donated to the Patreon felt... well, Fabsol's Patreon specifically, I should say, felt rightfully like, you know... pissed off. Like, I gave this guy money and he was doing this shit. Like, I totally get it. So they had requested removal. Completely fair. That is their decision. Please do not give them any shit for that.
Yeah, I can, like, I 100% respect their decision, not wanting to be associated with him anymore. What exactly is going to happen with those who are, like, in the donor queue? Is it just going to be the same as always has been, where just some of them will get implemented eventually, or what?
Current donor weapons in the queue, yes, they are still getting implemented. Yeah. But, okay. Moving through now. Let's see here. The Lilies of Finality. This was, we only found this because we went through the code base to check things he had worked on to see if anything had to be altered. Lilies of Finality, for some reason, always displayed its damage as 512, even when it wasn't.
We were talking about this in No Hit. Apparently, like, Fab even left a comment saying, "Do not change this number ever."
That was for a different thing, actually. That comment.
Oh, never mind then. Okay, but
that was related to the item, but that was for the second spawn in case you missed the first one. But yeah, for some reason, it's really weird because he absolutely hated that kind of stuff in games. He hated, like, incorrect information and then made a weapon with incorrect information, which is, like, what?
It's worth it for the reference. It's worth it for the reference.
Yeah, it goes back to the hypocrisy we were talking about earlier.
So now when you use your Signalis lesbian gun, you get proper numbers. Use the weapon, by the way. It's really cool, and one of the developers worked very hard on it. The change logs were very close to 22, which...
I want to say that I know re-adding the COLDHEART was not a reference to me, but it really feels like it was, considering the fact that the changelog of the COLDHEART being re-added is changelog number 23, and I am currently 23 years old, so...
Feels dedicated.
That was made the last one in the changelogs because we thought it was funny. It originally wasn't, and I specially requested, I said, please make this the last one, so that it's the one with the reaction emoji.
So now that Fab is off the team, I'm guessing the development team is going to be a lot more open to, like, undoing some of the more recent unpopular changes?
Yeah, we're trying not to spend too much time. We have a lot.
Looking back?
Yeah, but we also are. It's on Monday, so the day after this happened. It was when I was driving back, actually. We had a long voice call, and it didn't really dawn on me until we discussed with each other just how many things we weren't allowed to touch until now. And I was just like, oh my god, we were really limited. Like, you don't realize it until you have the creative freedom.
Can you give us some examples, or...?
Any boss stuff, any boss position stuff, particular vanilla changes, certain core systems, how fast the players are allowed to move, how fast dashes could be, how fast, God, I mean, so many things you wouldn't even think of. How strong food is, how strong buffs are, literally every change to every vanilla item. You know, not being able to do big boss redesigns because, oh, I don't like that. Difficulties. Oh my god, difficulties. That's the big one. The current state of Calamity's difficulty is really weird. There's like 7, technically 9 difficulties right now, which is like, what game has that?
I was originally planning on talking about this on regular CalCast because it was, you know, announced long before this stuff happened, but, like, regarding streamlining Calamity's difficulties, because as you said, yeah, there currently are 7 difficulties in the mod, like, 7 main difficulties, and the current plan is to axe, expert death, and master revengeance, so that, like, revengeance is just an upgrade to expert, and then death is an upgrade to master.
Master, yeah.
Yeah. that was the current plan. Not sure if that's changed or not.
I mean, I feel like it would just
but-
be a good idea, just because like the current state of Calamity's difficulties are a mess. That kind of segues into another thing I want to talk about with specifically like. So Fab was obviously the like de facto boss guy. So is there like people who are willing to like be the new boss person now? Because like Fab kind of monopolized that for the better part of however long he did.
A big part of why 22 happened was because they weren't allowed to ever touch the bosses. A lot of people want to work on bosses. A lot of people have a lot of ideas, and that is open to us now. We can collaborate on things for the first time literally ever. We can actually make like meaningful changes to stuff. It's definitely a lot of freedom. But yes, do not worry, we will have the bosses are in good hands. If you're familiar with all of the tweaks made to Supreme Calamitous, that's all on live
Those were made by Zyke.
Yep, all the Brothers phase, all the visual improvements, the new moon, all of that was completely done by Zyke.
Speaking of SCAL, I have one minor request. Can we please undo the SCAL change that made the darts perfectly radial and like perfectly evenly spaced? Because I know that one was pretty unpopular, and I would personally like to see that reverted.
Was it really unpopular?
GP, I absolutely sold you that impression. I'm gonna be honest with you.
It wasn't unpopular. I think you two are the only people I heard who disliked it, to be honest with you.
But it's her name is Supreme Calamitous. Like her fight is supposed to be, well, calamitous, and like you just have like these perfectly like straight radial darts.
Calamitous. Okay, to his credit, Supreme Calamitous, I should state, was probably one of the best bosses in the mod. So on the list of things that need to be touched up, it is like dead fucking last. You know who's sitting there crying, sobbing, please help me, God.
Ravager.
Dog.
That was already going to happen, and that was already going to happen. You know which one wasn't already going to happen but needs it? Fucking Aureus! Bro is sitting
And
there.
Stormweaver.
Please help me! Help! I even made a concept for a slime god attack that a lot of the team liked. Wasn't allowed to use it, of course.
Bring it back. Run it back.
Yeah, well, I'm absolutely gonna run it back and see. I'm gonna try my best to see if people like. I'm gonna put it in, see if people like it. But that was the frustrating thing, right? Was like, even the parts of development that he never contributed to, he'd go in there and say, this is not happening. I'm not okay with this. Like, it was sometimes randomly, too. Just in the middle of fucking nothing. He would just pop into a conversation and be like, I heard something about this. This is not happening. God, I don't think we've talked about this publicly. But there was a proposal made by two members to switch the positions of two bosses. I'm not sure if this has been talked about publicly. So I'm not gonna...
Is it regarding the Evil 2 bosses? Or...
Yes, has that been talked about?
I think it has, yeah. I think it has. I think it's
Okay.
been more than just speculation. I think it has been actually said by someone.
I've heard of it, but I think I might have heard of it from you.
I think
So-
I want to say Triangle posted something about it in Cal Main.
I feel like I've definitely seen it in either main or no hit, so it's definitely public enough.
Anyway, two bosses were thinking about switching positions, and it had so many cool ideas for it, so many thematic elements. Everybody was on board with this. So, to make sure, like, Fabsol didn't badly react, they went, rather than posting it in the dev server, they went around to everybody individually, be like, hey, what do you think of this? We started brainstorming. The lore writers were on board with it. The spriters were on board with it. All of us, I was on board with it. And it just got randomly shot down in a completely unrelated conversation. And I'm just like, what the fuck? And then later in that conversation, for emphasis, I bolded text in one of my sentences, something I do when I type on Discord. And he got pissy at me for that. He was like, don't speak to me like that. I'm like, what the who are you? I'm really letting it out, bro. I have like 4 years of grievances stockpiled.
Yeah, I was always kind of afraid of Fab. I never really liked him. I always kind of suspected that like he might have been up to something, but like, yeah, I guess it all kind of had to come crashing down eventually.
I never suspected something like this. And I want to be clear, I did not know about any of that stuff. some people who had been in the community for a long time heard like rumors of it floating around, like as far as the like, you know, children in the NSFW server thing. Some people like knew that there had been something like that floating around, but nobody wanted to speak up about it because, you know, it's you against fucking John Calamity over here. Like,
Well, at least we finally got him in the end, I guess.
ladies and gentlemen, we got him.
Yep, he's no longer the one in command.
Yes, and now it's our mod.
I just want to say that with so much time has passed where I've been invested in this mod for multiple years at this point, right? And I always love seeing when projects are given the capability to have passionate people run the thing. For the longest time, I never saw Fabsol as that person because, and I still don't, to be fair, to clarify. Now that he's gone, the opportunity is there for passionate people and skilled developers to actually do something with the mod that is already well regarded. This is nothing but good in my eyes in terms of the mod's development and progression. There's a lot of good that can come from it. I honestly, wholeheartedly trust every single person on the team to do that.
Yeah, I agree. Shay, in the past, I know we've had conversations, even on this show, where you say that, like, things are going well, and I thought to myself, okay, you say that, but are they really? And I've thought that a lot, like, just every time you said that, and just, like, hope that things, like, actually are okay behind the scenes, but, like, now, at this time, I finally believe you that things are finally going in the right direction.
Yes, they are. When I said that previously, I wasn't lying. Like I said, it was because Fabsol was a ghost.
I didn't think you were lying, it's just that I wasn't entirely sure if, like...
You weren't convinced?
Yeah, it wasn't even necessarily an intentional lie, but, like, if you're just, like, smiling, trying to pretend, like, oh, things aren't that bad, it's okay, Fab will get better, stuff like that. You know what I mean?
There was definitely a little bit of that, but again, it was mostly just because he wasn't there.
I built some beach houses, by the way, you want to see?
Damn, current patch Devil's Devastation is so fucking lame. I can't wait till you guys get this update. This weapon kicks so much ass in the update. You guys are gonna love it. Yeah, some people's first reaction was like, oh my god, we're never getting Yarim now. The mod's over with. I'm like, no, you're gonna get updates much more frequently now, actually.
But yeah, it is kind of funny how, like, the main thing that was the hindrance to the mod's development was the lead developer.
Creator.
Yes.
Yeah.
Thankfully now we have the almighty Lotus Flower commanding us to victory, so are you all familiar with that?
I'm familiar with the White Lotus, but not the Lotus Flower.
It was this meme that was posted that was just like, do the right thing, Ozzatron Calamity, kill Fabsol and you will be reincarnated as a Lotus Flower. And he changed his status to the Lotus emoji after that. Which is just... I like being in on, you know, we can actually be sort of in on, like, jokes like that now. Like, I can openly make jokes about 22 now without feeling bad. Like, I can be like, oh, 22 Hornet round and not feel bad. But, you know, step aside 22 Hornet round, fucking move over. 25 Fabsol bullet is here now. Yeah, all the community memes have been a gold mine.
How exactly is Oz as a leader, by the way? Because, like, I don't know a lot about him.
To put it this way, this was unanimous across the team. He posted a vote about, like, you know, is everybody okay with me stepping up as, like, the public-facing owner of the mod? Completely unanimous. It was like a 35-0 vote. Everybody in that voice call, we all said to him, you have always been the person we look to as a leader on this mod. It has never been Fabsol, like, ever, at any point. Because not only was he the GitHub manager, but he was actually invested in every facet of the mod. He was always, you know, you could always talk to him about anything, lore. I think the only thing he wasn't necessarily super invested in was the art, because that's not, you know, that's the art team's jurisdiction. But, you know, the programming, the game design, the art, the lore, all that. I mean, he was always there. It's like that one scene from Puss in Boots where it's Humpty Dumpty, but it turns out it's Ozzatron the whole time.
Or like Yondu in Guardians of the Galaxy 2.
Oh yeah. Yes,
He may have been your father, but he wasn't your daddy.
But he wasn't your daddy. He's always been very mature, measured. You know, I have good confidence in him as public-facing owner of the mod.
He's also just incredibly honest in my experience talking with him. Like, there's never a moment where he won't just be very blatant about any of his like opinions on like stuff, and he'll always like be kind about it too. But like,
Yes.
he's very, very, very like open about how he wants to like discuss with people, which is very, very healthy for communication in my opinion.
Yeah, some people, like, first time meeting him might feel a little intimidated, but he is, like, the most honest guy I have ever met. He never, ever hides anything. It's in good hands. And, the team, we make decisions as a team now, We're not going to have this ridiculous... And what's insane to me is that Fabsol always hated leadership structure. We were never allowed to have, like, an art team lead or, like, any team lead at all because he was... like, I don't want leaders, I don't want people rebelling or whatever. And then, like, but he would do that. He would be the fucking guy doing that. I'm like, ah! After we get this hotfix out, which should be very soon, the changelogs you have seen are the update. There's just a couple more, like, tiny things to be done first. Once we get that hotfix out, it is full steam ahead to get this stunking, stupid C.
The scope creeping C.
It is far and away the biggest Calamity update ever. It is not even close. It is... I think the changelog characters have superseded 600,000 characters at this point. Those videos that, like, some of the other YouTubers make where it's like every single new reworked weapon from X Calamity update? Y'all, that video is going to be like an hour and a half. It is...
Yeah.
There are so many. We have gone through all of, like, so many of Calamity's slop-ass, like, 2017 ore set, and my boy Zyke is a professional chef, bro. That guy, he cooks up some insane weapons. If you like Risk of Rain 2, you might really like his weapons too.
just a little bit.
And also the game Ram. Shout out my boy Andrew Cunningham, developer of Ram. Love that game. Go check it out if you haven't. Random Access Mayhem. Gotta plug his game, But, yes, it's just creative freedom. It feels fantastic. Things are really actually coming together really quickly. We can act on our ideas. Passion is basically fully back at this point, like everybody. Obviously, the day of and, like, the day after was, like, really sad, but then that kind of wore off, and then we're like...
I imagine that there definitely would have been a lot of uncertainty until Fab announced that he was formally resigning.
Yes, I even made I made a post on my Twitter saying the same thing. I'm like, I'm not sure if I'm going to stay on the team or not, and it basically came down to, is Fab going to stay? Because if yes, then I'm gone.
That was the ultimatum, yeah?
Yeah, Calamity would have definitely died if he had not left.
Yeah, 100%.
It would have just been him and, like, 3 other, like, people who were living under a rock at the moment.
Yeah, like when I initially heard that, like, the Fab was being outed, I thought to myself that, like, I might have to start picking up Fargos or something. No offense if any no offense if any Fargos devs are watching, but, like, come on, man, I've been playing Calamity for like 5 years. But
yes,
and I was worried about that I would need to completely jump ship to something else. But thankfully, it does seem like that doesn't need to happen. Although I still probably will try Fargos soonish because it's good to broaden one's horizons.
I guess I can talk about this now. I did see some people asking if the Fables team was going to re-merge with us. That's not happening. I just want to say that. They have already confirmed that's not happening. It won't happen on our end either. If you want to go play Fables, sure, go play it. It's a cool reinterpretation of Calamity.
I like how a lot of people were like joking that like Fables is fabulous without one of the L's, and
that is why it was named that.
Yeah, and then now the main Calamity mod is also fabulous too.
We have Calamity Fables and Fabulous Calamity. Congratulations. Yep. But yeah,
quite a hilarious turn of events, honestly.
Yeah, give it. I briefly tried it out and I enjoyed what I played. I can say this comfortably now that since there's Fabsol's gone, there's basically just no beef. It's a cool reinterpretation. Go enjoy it if you want. And yeah, that team is cooking up their own stuff. So
I'll probably go and end up playing it eventually, but it's just like right now I kind of want to wait for them to see through to their full vision.
One more thing about main Calamity. There is no changes to the update trajectories, are there? Like we're like the next updates are still planned to be the exact same, right? With like reworking all the biomes and then finally Yarim.
Sorta, kinda. It's still, those are still the general plans, yes.
Can I vote for the distortion to be next? I just make that joke every single time I can because I've talked so much about how much I hate Current Devourer. So much. I hate him so much. So bad.
I'm excited for the mod. Like, I have seen and heard so much from so many devs in the past. Just like, Fabsol won't let me do this. Fabsol won't let us do that. It's just like this, you know, we can't do anything creative about this problem that we all know exists. And it's like, it's upsetting to hear as someone who's not involved even with the development process. So I can't imagine how upsetting it was for development. With that kind of mitigated, there's just, it must just feel like an absolute breath of fresh air.
For sure. Did you two have anything you wanted to add? Because that's basically it on my end.
I think we've gone over all the topics, but yeah, I'll just end on saying that I definitely think Calamity has a bright future, and I definitely am a lot, like, I felt something that I haven't felt, I don't think ever in this community, and that is a sense of unity. Like,
Literally, yes.
Yeah,
Yes,
like,
me too.
now it feels like at this point that there is no more argument to be had. Like, everyone is just kind of in agreement that Fab being around was, like, not great for the mod's health, honestly. And both the fact that, like, what he's done has been exposed, I'm assuming is a relief for the victims, and also, like, and just the fact that, like, we know that we're not gonna have to, like, deal with any more of his crap, like, constantly draining on the mod. The fact that it's just finally over.
You know that the fucking image of the guy with the shackles broken, like with his arms up in the sunset.
Yeah.
That is us. Yes.
That
In
is
fact,
Calamity
I
Dev
was
team.
very close to just posting that image on the Cal social. I'm not gonna lie, but I was like, no.
Oh, you should do it. No, you should do it.
No. Maybe later. I wanted to be serious about that topic.
Okay. After the Sunken Sea update, you got to do it.
But I did. Oh, I did post a meme today about the COLDHEART icicle coming back because it's been a few days. It's back to the shitpost mines for me.
So many memes were made so quickly.
The idea
They were probably stockpiled.
Yeah, people were ready for this to happen.
Yes.
They were rooting for his downfall.
I mean, this is such a unanimous moment of unity that even DM Dokuro made a post about it today. If you saw that.
If you make DM Dokuro come out to make a public statement that is not through his music, you fucked up real bad.
By the way, I know people are like, is he doing okay? Yes, he is. I do have contact with him. He is doing that. Yeah.
And the number one thing that Dokuro wants is for people to leave him alone, right?
Correct. Don't yeah.
He doesn't even want, like, sympathy or anything, right? He just wants to be left alone, period, right?
Yeah, don't bring up go listen to his new music. It's really good. His new album is actually a fucking banger. I listened to it on my road trip.
It's so good. Also, Canvas Without Stars. That's another good one. Google that.
Yes, the synth demo track he made.
Sorrows.
Yes, Sorrows. That synth tech has gotten so good that it really does sound like a real person singing. It's insane how good that tech has gotten. And that's actually good usage of it. Woohoo!
Voice crack.
But yeah, did you all have anything else to add?
I guess I'll say we'll probably do another CalCast episode actually going over Sunken Sea, but, like, this episode was kind of made in haste because it's
This was we put this together in like literally a day.
Yeah, like I literally reached out yesterday. I think it was yesterday about having a CalCast today.
Yeah, we have a lot. Sunken Sea will be a longer one, trust. We have a lot to. There's over 600 public changelogs, and the actual changelogs, again, like 600,000 characters or something insane like that. It is it's a mammoth update.
I'm
like
really looking forward to it.
Yeah, we're probably never going to do an update this big ever again because, frankly, it was kind of a problem.
that sounds familiar. I remember those words. I remember those words being said after the Drayden update.
It became very much a balloon far out of. We call it the Sunken Sea update, but there's so much stuff. The future updates, we need to keep more focused. That is a priority of the new team, is to keep things focused.
Scope creep is a bitch.
We have a sticker in the Calamity Dev server, which is a picture of a rifle scope called Scope Creep. Scope creep is the public fun term, but the new internal term that has taken over is called bike shedding, which is a term Ozzatron introduced to us all that has become the new infection in the team. It was from a post about people building a nuclear power plant, and they spent 3 minutes designing the entire thing, and then spent the rest of the 50-minute conversation talking about the color of the bike shed. It is a fantastic phrase to describe how development conversations sometimes go, where you agree on 90% of things, and then like you'll get stuck on like the color of an enemy for like 2 years.
Correct me if I'm wrong, but wasn't like part of that just due to the fact that like because Fabsol would restrict so much, it meant that you would just kind of work on whatever you could?
You want to know why the update is as spread out as it is and why it has so much unrelated stuff?
Fabsol?
Mm-hmm. That was exactly it, because when you got roadblocked by certain things, you would go and work on other things. You're going to play the update, do the Sunken Sea stuff, which is awesome, by the way. It's coming along very well. You're going to do that stuff and be like, this took 2 years? Because, like, you know, it is really cool, but it's not all that much. Like, it's awesome content, but it's not, like, all too much content. And then you look at the rest of the patch and you're like, oh, that's what took 2 years. Again, use weapons you think are unassuming, like weapons you don't remember being very cool, because there's so many reworked weapons. So many reworked weapons.
Don't worry, there will be YouTube videos for that.
You can hit fireballs at Ceaseless Void with Holy Collider. You can throw swords at people with Devil's Devastation. You can... The fucking entropic weapons aren't even in live patch right now. That was like a year and a half ago. Yeah, trust me, there's so many. There's like literally hundreds. Okay.
Yeah, I think we're done here. So long story short, Calamity has a bright future. We'll be doing another episode of CalCast. Like, I don't know if we'll wait till the Sunken Sea update actually releases, or if we'll like do one before then. But like, you know, not that far in the future.
Yes.
So long, Fabsol. We won't miss you.
Yep, bon voyage.
Thank you, everybody, for watching. Appreciate it. And thank you one last time for all the kind words to the development team at the time. You know, everybody's been positive towards us, and it is really appreciated, guys. Like, seriously.
Bye-bye.
Lotus Flower!